What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're talking about fighters that need to hang it up. We're talking about fighters that need to retire, the fighters that just need to put the fries in the bag, give it up. You're not built for this anymore, your career's over, you got nothing to fight for, just pack it up and get out of the sport. Look, now it sounds bad, that sounds like I hate all these fighters. I don't. These are just fighters that either are not demonstrating any skill at this point in their career. Maybe they're failed prospects. Maybe they're veterans of the game that have just stuck around too long. Maybe they're just fighters that are not going anywhere in their career and they might as well not risk the brain damage and just go work a 9 to 5. So yeah, that's who we're going to be talking about. We got a bunch of fighters, 5 different tiers based off the fighters that need to retire and just skedaddle the most. They're at the top. The fighters that you could probably stick around, but you should probably retire, they're at the bottom. So yeah, let's get into it. So to start off, Ferg, you need to retire immediately. Look, this is not me hating on Tony Ferguson. This is not me saying I don't like Tony as a fighter. This is not me saying that he was never good. He was very good. He was a great fighter. He was a very dangerous guy and a guy that was just beating up a lot of the top guys at lightweight. But that point is gone. You've stuck around for too long. You just need to, bro, go retire, go play golf. I don't know, go work, go just coach or some shit. This guy should not be fighting. We all agree. He's fighting Michael Chiesa next. He's probably just going to get wrestle-fucked the whole time. If he somehow wins that fight, please just go out on a win. Don't risk another loss. So yeah, we all want to see Ferg retire immediately. So yeah, Tony Ferguson is in the S tier, or the top tier. But let's move on to the next fighter. Next up on the list, Kennedy Nzechukwu. Now, I know if Kenny Okoye sees this video, he's going to have a heart attack because Kenny Okoye has Kennedy Nzechukwu as the number 3 light heavyweight of all time, of course, because he's Nigerian. But no, this dude lost to OSP. You lost to literally ancient senior citizen, primary source for the fucking American, civil rights movement. You lost to OSP. That's tough. You can't be losing to OSP. That's ridiculous. You've got a fucking reach advantage over everyone. You're one of the most genetically gifted dudes in the division, and you're losing to OSP, who's 40. That's so tough. That's a ridiculous outcome to have in a fight. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Next up, we got Alexander Romanov. Now, he arguably should be higher, and, he fits with the title of the video, put the fries in the bag, bro. Well, he's putting the fries in his fucking mouth, because he's eating all the fries. He's eating all the fries rather than training, to be honest, because Alexander Romanov, just an absolute blob of a human. This dude was, believe it or not, this guy was an undefeated prospect until he fought Marcin Tybura, and then, gassed out at altitude, had a draw. Or no, he lost. It was a majority decision. Arguably should have been a draw, though. But then he goes and gets TKO'd by Volkov in literally 20 fucking seconds because he got one takedown stuffed. And then most recently, he just got cow-tipped by Almeida. The fat man just got pushed over and he's got no resistance. You just push him, give him a firm shove. You don't even need, tabletopping, you don't even need to tabletop this dude. You can just give him a firm shove. No one even needs to be behind him. He'll just fall over. So yeah, Romanov, bro, I'll be honest, just go work at Macca's. It'll suit you a lot better than fighting. You can eat a lot more when you work at Macca's. Fighting, I know you're still eating a lot, but you should probably be cutting down on the diet. But if you want to let the diet go wild, if you want to go fucking feature on My 600 Pound Life, then yeah, go get a job at Macca's, buddy. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Next up on the tier list, we've got Terrence McKinney. Now, this is a case of your career is going nowhere. I'm sorry, bro. Every time you get a fucking win, you beat some cans, you get some 20-second TKOs, people think you're good again, and then you fight anyone with skill and you get chinned. Got chinned by Bonfim, got chinned by Ribovic, got chinned by Doba. This dude is just getting chinned all over the place. He'll have just flashes of oh my god, if this dude could put it together, he'd be a fucking champion. But no. Or a ranked guy? No, he's never, remember people thought this dude was going to beat Paddy? They're these guys were yapping at each other a little bit, but it's bro, Terrence McKinney destroys Paddy Pimblett, man. I'm in hindsight, he probably doesn't, because he would probably just gas out after round 1 and get subbed like he did against Nazim Sadikov. He hasn't lost to anyone crazy bad, but it's just it's clear this dude's never going to be a top-level fighter, so just give it up while you're gone. Go join full-time with the Crip Gang or some shit. I don't fucking know what you're up to. But yeah, McKinney, just dip, bro. You're not cut out for fighting. Your chin's not good enough and you got no cardio. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Dominic Cruz. Look, probably call it quits, and I'm not just talking about his UFC career. I'm talking about his commentary as well. But in terms of the fighting, look, it doesn't really matter because he's not really fighting that much. It's not like he's just getting KO'd every fucking 6 months or some shit. He's not on Tony Ferguson timing, or like some Johnny Walker shit. I forgot to put Johnny Walker in here. He arguably should be in here too. But Dominic Cruz, he's already got his commentary job. It's not like he's almost kind of left the UFC already, but he's technically still signed. So yeah, I'll chuck him down in the like D tier, F tier, whatever you want to say. He's fine. He can just stick around and probably fight a couple times and add some name value to a card here and there. But I don't even know if we'll see him back. Like, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. On paper, the fries are in the bag. I'm the best McDonald's worker here on paper. Of course, if you take away everyone else's arms and their legs and their functioning brains, then, I'm a better worker than all of them. Anthony Smith, he's still living in that on-paper wonderland. He's still living in Lucas Tracy's Peaches and Creamville. Still thinks he's a capable martial artist. Sorry, I hate to break it to you, buddy. You lose to Roman Dolidze. Yeah, you're not a fighter at that point. You're a person that competes in mixed martial arts competitions. You're not a fighter. Look, fair play. I know everyone's like, hey, don't disrespect Lionheart, man. Hey, people forget, man. Anthony Smith, he beat Gustafsson. He beat Gustafsson when Gustafsson was like a problem. Like, yeah, okay. Anthony Smith, he's got some good wins on his resume back in the day, but, since the John Jones fight, this dude's been, like, more than coin flip maxing. Like, this dude's record has been on some fucking plinko shit. Like, you win 1, you lose about 8. And then you get that 1 win, and people will be like, on paper, this is a good thing. I should keep going. Like, that's Anthony Smith's UFC career post John Jones. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Just dip, go do some analyst shit or something, go host your CTE podcast with some other cunts, I don't know. Start a podcast with Johnny Walker, call it like you're attacking my family or something, I don't know. But just do anything other than fighting because you're clearly not good at it. But let's move on to another fighter. Next up on the tier list, Alex Morono, the fucking most baseline settings character ever. This dude looks like he'd be a McDonald's manager, let's be honest. I'm not going to do the Photoshop, but like, just imagine Alex Morono wearing a McDonald's employee outfit. I can honestly imagine it. He looks like the local fucking, like, junkie, homeless dude that doesn't really have a job, so he, like, just does some part-time work at Macca's. Like, that's who Alex Morono looks like. That's basically the role he should accept at this point. I'm sorry, buddy. If you make Nico Price look like a somewhat talented striker, then it's over for you. So, anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Next up on the tier list, Jamie Mullarkey. You got TKO'd by Nazat Haqparast in round 1. You got TKO'd by Mauricio Hufi in round 1. You got TKO'd by Muhammad Naimov in round 2. I can go on. This dude just continues to lose. You got a robbery decision against John McDessie, who's a 40-year-old Canadian. Yeah, that's enough said. Let's move on. Mullarkey also does look like someone who'd work at McDonald's, but Ihor Potieria is another one. This is not like an urgent, you need to retire, you need to leave. I mean, he just keeps losing a whole lot. He really hasn't beat anyone. He's taken a lot of damage in his fights, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I would say, like, put the fries in the bag, bro, but he's Ukrainian, so what's, like, a more appropriate, like, comparison? I don't know, like, put the orphans in the plane and send them off. Like, I don't know. Some shit like that. That was lazy work, but, you get the gist of it. You could think of something yourself. But let's move on to another fighter. Next up, we've got Edson Barboza. Look, I do kind of want him to retire because he's taking a lot of damage. Like, bro, Lerone Murphy busted him up bad, pause. Sadiq Yusuf rocked him a lot in their fight. He's taken some damage. He's on the decline for sure. And I just don't want to see this guy just getting used as a fucking punching bag because his defense is clearly not there. His boxing is extremely mid as fuck. So yeah, Barboza should retire. If he's not going to retire, just don't feed him to prospects, please. I know the UFC likes giving their names to prospects. Just do us a favor and don't feed this guy to fucking Gene Silva next. Like, I love Gene Silva and he would win that fight, but we can see Gene Silva beat a top 15 guy that doesn't need to be an old Barboza. Like, let's just not give him, like, the Cub Swansons of the world, that kind of fight, the Andre Feelys of the world. Give him the winnable matchups that he can look good and have some cool KOs and shit, because he's still got KO power and KO ability, but it's just his defense. Don't give this guy some crazy good boxer. Like, Gene Silva's going to fucking spinning elbow this man's head off. That'll be sad to watch. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. All right, next up, we got Giannis Gamori. Yeah, you just need to give up on fighting, to be honest with you. His little fucking shitty, mid-ass, terrible French, soy, shit striker. I was trying to name as many fucking, like, negative things as I could. He's just awful. Like, Payton Talbot's real good, right? I wasn't expecting him to win that fight. I was like, in no way was that like, oh my god, look, Gamora got exposed. Like, we all knew Gamora was just getting fed to Talbot, but like, you can't be walking into a fucking straight right hand and just getting KO'd immediately. Like, against anyone. I don't care who you are. Unless you're fucking, like, I don't know. Unless you're, who's, like, JP Bays against fucking Francis Ngannou. Like, you just shouldn't be getting KO'd that early in a fucking fight. Like, you should be capable as a martial artist to not just get slept immediately. Like, I know there's been high-level fighters that have been KO'd quickly, right? But, still, like, you can't be doing that, bro. So, yeah, fucking Gamori, go join your little fucking French bakery or some shit like that. I don't know what you're doing. Put the croissants in the bag. That's probably your saying, to be honest. Anyway, I'm getting lazy with these jokes, but let's move on. All right, let's just speed through some of these because I don't want a 50-minute video. Michael Chiesa, you're washed. You got TKO'd by Kevin Holland. Let's move on. Ryan Spann, you suck. You're black. No, sorry. You lost to Bogdan Guskov. What else is bad about you? You're shit. You lost to Anthony Smith. That's all that needs to be said. I didn't even need to say the other stuff. But like, this guy's just retarded. He's got chromosomes missing. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we've got Vitor Petrino. Yeah, again, you lost to Anthony Smith. If you're losing to Anthony Smith post Jones fight, you're on this list. You're washed. You're terrible. You're awful at fighting. Let's move on. Next up, Jim Miller. It's not urgent. You can stick around and just take Legends fights, but don't be giving this guy prospects. Don't be taking anyone with power or precise boxing. This guy's getting pieced up a lot, taking a lot of damage. It's tough for Jim Miller. Look, I actually kind of want him to stick around for a bit just because I want to see how many fights this dude can get, but just without taking all the damage, if you know what I mean. Let's move on to another fighter. Next up, we got Cody Brundage. You're not cut out for this. 2 fights out of your last 4 have ended in either no contest or DQs because you took the way out due to back of the head shots. Yeah, I mean, fair enough, you got fouled, but still, you're a pussy. It's Cody Brundage, you suck. Like, this dude's genuinely awful. Let's move on, though, to another fighter. Next up, Anshul Jubilee. You know, this dude, he lost to Mike Breeden. Just hang it up. You know, put the credit card details in the book. Put the fucking gift cards in the call center or some shit. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of some Indian joke. Yeah, anyway. Anshul Jubilee, you can't be... Just look at the man. He's not a fighter. Go fucking join a chess competition or something. This guy looks like he should be fucking playing Magnus Carlsen in the World Chess Championships, not fucking getting into a cage fight. This is definitely racist, but whatever. Let's move on. That's what you subscribe for. Anywai, let's move on. Next up on the tier list, Tai Tuivasa. Put the fucking beers down, bro. Put the fucking Uber Eats away. If you're not going to do that, then yeah, just go off and be fat and don't try and be a professional fighter. Bro literally had Uber Eats in his fucking, like, locker room, in the back when he was warming up. Bro was just munching on some Taco Bell or some shit before he went and fought Tabora. Didn't go well for him. Anyway, yeah, Tai Tuivasa, 4 Is it 4 fights? Yeah, it's 4 fights. It's Garn, Pavlovich, Volkov, Tabora. If he loses to Rosenstrike, which he's probably going to, that'll be 5. That's 5 fights in a row, bro. Anyway, yeah, 5 fights in a row if he loses to Rosenstrike. Oh my god, just retire, please, Tuivasa. Just go fucking, I don't know, do something that's not fighting, because you're clearly not disciplined enough, bro. This guy trains at Planet Fitness. This guy was on the fucking Embedded or whatever, on the thing, and he's training at fucking Planet Fitness. That's ridiculous. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Vicente Luque. I'm not even going to make fun of him. This dude's just took brain damage. He literally had a brain bleed against Jeff Neal, and then he just looked awful against Buckley. He had that RDA fight in between. RDA is not really going to do much damage to you. But yeah, Buckley, I know Buckley's actually not too bad. He's a physical dude, right? But like, this dude just straight up quit in a fight because he was just like, what the fuck? I got punched. And he just didn't know how to take punches anymore. So yeah, Luque, I'm not even going to joke about it. He needs to retire. Let's move on though to, I don't know why he's so low. I should have had him higher up. Let's move on to another fighter. Anil Dariush. Look, okay, to be fair, his 2 losses are first round TKOs to the number 1 and 2 lightweights behind Islam, right? So that's not too bad, fair enough, but this dude's only going to get worse. He's only going to get KO'd more. His chin's only going to become worse. He's going to become even less reactive to punches. His issue is already, like, fast starters and guys that just go and just attack him straight away. Like, Arman just threw punches really quickly. He's like, huh? And he's just dead. Like, Charles Oliveira just smacks him, and he doesn't react quick enough. He's very slow twitch. But Anil Dariush, he gets cracked a lot, and now you got Obviously, he's not going to fight all these guys, but, you know, dudes like Poirier, Gaethje, Fiziev, even like fucking BSD's probably going to KO him in the first. Like, why do you need to stick around, honestly? Like, make some money, fair enough, take some easy fights, fight like Moicano or some shit if he beats BSD, fight like the Paddy Pimblets of the world who aren't going to just chin you, but this dude's got no place being in there with anyone with power. Let's move on, though, to another fighter. Next up on the list, we got Matt Schnell. This guy's getting KO'd at flyweight. That's tough. Yeah, the pointing and laughing emoji is like how we look at Matt Schnell. Like, I mean, it's kind of getting sad at this point. Like, Usyk's a real good fighter, man. Very talented. He's not a one-punch KO guy. Usyk made that performance, him getting KO'd by Usyk, made people be like, you know, Usyk's got no chance in the grappling, but he might even KO Pantoja. Like, bro, Schnell got KO'd by Matheus Nicolau, who's also extremely chinny and probably should retire. Both of them just look like victims. Chris Taglioni is like, I don't know what was worse, the punch or your head bouncing off the canvas. Like, that's tough. You can't be accepting that. Like, personally, I would do something about that. I might just clock Chris Taglioni then and there. Like, I might have done that, but you didn't. You probably would have got fucking KO'd by him if he, like, pushed you back or some shit. Like, Matt Schnell, who just does not hit hard at all. Like, who just has... Mikhaev could probably fucking drop this dude, I'll be honest. That's tough. Let's move on, though, to another fighter. Next up, we've got Rhys McKee. Yeah, he's 0-4 in the UFC. I just wanted to put him in here. He looks like a victim. He looks like a person that would just be bullyable. And he has been so far because he hasn't won a single fight in the UFC. He might be cut, I don't know. But if he's not, even if he is cut, don't go and fight in some other promotion. Don't go to fucking KSW and act and think you're going to win some fights. I don't know. Rhys McKee. He just annoys me to look at, bro. He's just, like, weird looking dude. Like, fuck off. I'm just beefing with some random bum. Anyway, you suck. Let's move on to another fighter. Next up, Cody Garbrandt. How many times have you been knocked out? Exactly. Cody Garbrandt. This dude just got a fucking face tattoo. Honestly, even more reason to hang it up and just get cameras out of your face. Do not have anything you're doing put in the public eye because you're just embarrassing yourself always. You embarrass yourself in the cage. You're getting chinned by everyone. You embarrass yourself with your fucking tattoos. Just everything about this dude is just weird. He's even like just kind of embarrassing to listen to be honest. There's going to be some guy in the comments saying, you're embarrassing to listen to, man. You suck. I'm like, yeah, alright, fuck you. Anyway, Cody Garbrandt, just retire, bro. Pack it up. Like, Figgy didn't even KO you. Everyone's like, oh, Figgy's going to chin Garbrandt. This is terrible for Garbrandt. His striking ain't even bad. He just can't take punches. But even Figgy out-grappled you. So, like, yeah, just hang it up. Let's move on. He's fighting, what's his name? Miles Johns. Miles Johns sucks. If you lose to Miles Johns, genuinely pack it up. Let's move on, though, to another fighter. Next up, Honey Yaya. This dude just looks like a victim. Enough said. Yeah, I don't know, I just put him in here for filler. He's just a number. He's one of many. Let's move on to another fighter. Next up, we got Mike Malott. Yeah, bro, you're Canadian, so that should be enough said. Just don't even bother starting in the first place. You do not have a future in MMA unless you're GSP or what's the other dude's name? Is McDonald Canadian? I'm retarded. There's the guys back in the day, but like post 2020, you know what I'm saying? Post 2020s, you can't be a Canadian fighter in the UFC. None of them are good. They all suck. So that, to begin with, should have just indicated that you got to just do a different thing as your career. Go be a fucking ice hockey player or something. You clearly got some athletic potential, but you just don't have any fighting potential. You lost to Neil Magny. Again, me personally, I'm not going to lose to Neil Magny. I ain't going to let Neil Magny TKO me in the third round. That's not going to happen. There's going to be some guy that just can't take a joke saying, how dare you insult these fighters, man, they're warriors. It's like, alright, but chill out. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Next up, we've got Paul Craig. Yeah, this dude needs to dip, bro. Kaya Borrello is not a striker, and he KO'd your ass. That's tough. Kaya Borrello is a grappler. That's just... I mean, he has striking. I'm not saying he can't strike, but, like, most of his wins and how he mostly shows off his skills in his fights is grappling, alright? We all agree that. Paul Craig... This dude's been coin flip maxing, obviously. I put him in the coin flip maxing video. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch that. But yeah, Paul Craig, you know, back in the day, Paul Craig, man, people forget, man, this guy is subbed Ankalaev, subbed Jamal Hill. You know, this guy's a problem for everybody. You know, you do not want to be in that guard, man. Well, actually, if you're just not retarded, then you can perfectly well be in that guard and just don't be dumb. Or just don't go to the ground in the first place. It's remarkable how many fighters will be like, yeah, here's this world-class BJJ guy that only ever wins fights by triangle. Let me go into his guard. Like just some fucking retards, bro. Anyway, Paul Craig, you shouldn't be winning fights at this point, and he's not. which is good. At least the sport is starting to become logical, and someone of Paul Craig's absolute shit fucking talent is no longer just getting away with shit because fighters are dumb. But yeah, Paul Craig, get out of here, buddy. Let's move on to another fighter. Rebellis de Spain. Buddy, go back to Taekwondo, because them fuckers are shit at striking, so you'd fit back right in, honestly. I hyped this dude up, I can't believe it. Honestly, I question my credentials as like an MMA channel for like believing that this dude was good. Even though I didn't even think he was good, I was like, bro, he's just got mad power and fat fucks are just going to run into punches like retards because Ngannou did it and he'll just do the same thing. But no, he's just got no fundamental technique. He cannot stuff a takedown to save his life. Genuinely, Pantoja versus Rebellis de Spain, competitive fight. I'd probably lean Pantoja, to be honest. Ekes out, control time based decision win. I'm not even joking. This guy sucks. Waldo Cortez Acosta had never completed a takedown before in his UFC career. Never even attempted a takedown. And this dude just 30-27 doing the grappling. Like, you can't be allowing that. Dude got in your face and screamed at you. Like, you can't be allowing Waldo Cortez Acosta, who went to a fucking close decision with Andre witnessed the fall of the Roman Empire, Arlovsky. Like, you can't be allowing Waldo Cortez Acosta, who almost lost to that dude, be screaming in your face, punking you. Like, bro, you've got an 84-inch reach. You're fucking 6'7" or some shit. How are you not just smoking, guys? You suck. You're genuinely awful. Fucking quit combat in general. Go back to Taekwondo, because apparently you can win a fucking bronze medal and be the third best person in your weight class in the world at that time. Apparently. But yeah, Olympic Taekwondo, fucking worst background for MMA at this point. Let's move on. That was my Rebellis de Spain rant, because I'm still not over that dude just being an absolute bum. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we've got Jimmy Crute. Mr. Strikes like he's stepping on Legos. Absolute bum. Dude lost to Alonzo Menafield. How do you have a close competitive draw back and forth scrap with him in the first fight, and then in the second fight you just look atrocious? You made no adjustments. You looked shit. You got subbed even though you're the grappler. You got guillotined and tapped immediately. Just quit the sport. Jimmy Crute, fuck off. Bro, I'll be honest. I live in Victoria. Jimmy Crute trains in Victoria. I'm pretty sure. I might get jumped by Jimmy Crute and his boys. But it's fine. I'll just throw some Lego out in front of them and it'll fucking be like, oh, and he'll start striking and I'll be safe. But let's move on to another fighter. Next up, we've got Michael Johnson, the coin flip maxer himself. Just stop before your MMA record literally gets to even. Not even UFC record. Stop competing. Let me say this slowly for you. Michael, I know you might not understand me, your type of people. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke. Michael Johnson, stop fighting before your overall MMA record becomes a 50-50 record and you have the same amount of wins as you do losses. Save yourself that embarrassment. Genuinely. That's all. Let's move on. Fucking hell, this video is gonna get me taken off YouTube potentially if people can't take jokes. Let's move on. I meant it, by the way. I didn't. Let's move on. The last fighter that we have here is Claudio Puelles. I probably should have ended it on with a more notable fighter, but yeah. This dude, just go compete in jiu-jitsu. You're not an MMA fighter. That's all I gotta say, to be honest. But yeah, that's the video done, guys. That is 30 fighters from varying degrees of necessary. If you guys have watched these tier lists for long enough, you kind of know I don't really organize anything in the tier lists. I kind of the S tiers are the S tiers and the F tiers are the F tiers. But apart from that, everyone else between them is just I kind of just chuck random people. I don't even explain why they're higher up than someone else. So yeah, that's it. You guys let me know if you agree with the placements or how you would rearrange it. There's some other guys like Nick Diaz, he needs to retire. There's a lot of other dudes like Stipe, Jones, obviously not because he's washed, but because he's a duck. There's plenty of people that need to hang it up, plenty of people that need to just go get a job somewhere else, work that 9 to 5 for a little bit, get back into normalcy, bro. Stop thinking you're in a fucking movie, you're not the main character. But that's going to be the video done. Predictions for 304 coming tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, follow my Instagram, Left Lane MMA. Follow my clip channel, Right Lane MMA. It's not me, it's someone else doing it, by the way. Someone made a clip channel of me, so I've officially made it in the game. But anyway, peace out, guys. Chewie whiz.